no. You give them the intelligence. You indicated here this morning that they put the sense of urgency on it. That was the quote. And when you see this intelligence you provide being misrepresented, misstated by the highest authorities, when do you say no? You can't have it both ways, can you, Mr. Tennant? You can't, on the one hand, just say, look, we never said that war was imminent, and then have these superheated dialogue and rhetoric, which are semantically the same as imminent, and tell us here before the committee that you have no obligation to correct it, or didn't even try?
Senator, I can tell you that I'm not going to sit here today and tell you what my interaction was and what I did or what I didn't do, except that you have to have the confidence to know that when I believed that somebody was misconstruing intelligence, I said something.
Director George Tenet is speaking out to defend the rough treatment of some al-Qaeda suspects, saying it helped snuff out new terror plots and saved American lives. In a 60 Minutes interview with Scott Pelley, Tenet insists no one was tortured.
The image that's been portrayed is we sat around the campfire and said, oh boy, now we go get to torture people. But we don't torture people. Let me say that again to you. We don't torture people. Okay? Come on, George. We don't torture people. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. We don't torture people. Waterboarding. We do not. I don't talk about techniques, and we don't torture people. Now listen to me. I want you to listen to me. So the context is it's post 9/11. I've got reports of nuclear weapons in New York City, apartment buildings that are going to be blown up, planes that are going to fly into airports all over again. Plot lines that I don't know what's going on inside the United States, and I'm struggling to find out where the next disaster is going to occur. Everybody forgets one central context of what we lived through. The palpable fear that we felt on the basis of the fact that there was so much we did not know.
And Australia has aired some chilling audio of former President Bill Clinton speaking in Melbourne on September 10th of 2001. It's chilling because of the subject matter, Osama bin Laden, and what no one could have known was about to happen no more than 10 hours after Bill Clinton spoke these words.
And I'm just saying, if I were Osama bin Laden, he's a very smart guy. I spent a lot of time thinking about him. And I nearly got him once. I nearly got him. And I could have killed him, but I would have had to destroy a little town called Kandahar in Afghanistan and kill 300 innocent women and children. And then I would have been no better than him. And so I didn't do it.
Bill Clinton on September 10th, one day before the world changed.
This Monday morning, the 10th of September, 2001.
From the heart of New York City, on Fifth Avenue at Trump Plaza, it's Bryant Gumbel and Jane Clayson. This is The Early Show on CBS.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to The Early Show on a Monday morning. Feels like fall already. Back to Jane Clayson. I'm Bryant Gumbel. How was your weekend?
It was great. Went to the semis on Saturday, the U.S. Open. Semifinals.
Oh, the tennis.
The semis,
The tennis stuff.
Yes, that's right. I know you didn't watch, but it was terrific.
Other than the football game, it was nice. The Colts showed, the Jets didn't.
Yeah? Poor Pete. It was like
Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras,
Yeah.
yes.
It wasn't
Pete
his
Sampras.
day. Wasn't his day.
It was like he played 4 finals, But we'll talk to Venus Williams here in just a minute about that. Also, we'll chat with Ananda Lewis as she gets ready to launch her own talk show.
Back now at 7:30 under cloudy skies on a Monday morning. Looks kind of ominous out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Do we have that picture from the World Trade Center that we were looking at before the show?
The clouds.
Oh, we don't. Oh.
It's gone.
Ahead in our health watch, we're going to take a look at a vitamin called choline. Will soon have a prominent place in the labels of some popular foods.
All this costs money. Costs more than we have. It demands agility, more than today's bureaucracy allows. And that means we must recognize another transformation, the revolution in management, technology, and business practices. Successful modern businesses are leaner and less hierarchical than ever before. They reward innovation and they share information. They have to be nimble in the face of rapid change or they die.
Avoiding Washington until a secure landing zone can be found. But the president must still run the country as if he were in the Oval Office. Air Force One is equipped for the task. Its upper level is dedicated to communications, 238 kilometers of wiring, 85 onboard telephones, 19 television monitors, internet connections, and state-of-the-art signal encryption enable the president and staff to stay in touch anywhere in the world. If needed, the Secret Service can keep the president in the air for days.
Air Force One has the capacity to stay aloft for quite a while, can be refueled from the air.
Scribbled a statement and went into a classroom full of parents who were expecting to hear the president say, "Man, what a great reading program you have." Instead, heard the president say, "America's been attacked."
Please ensure all cell phones and pagers are off this time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a difficult moment for America.
A lot of times the president is placed in a bubble or a capsule. In this case, I was able to see the reactions of our fellow citizens. The shock, the concern, the horror, the worry.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes
and that's inconsistencies
into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
And I didn't linger much in the classroom after I'd given my statement because the Secret Service was anxious to get me on the move. I was immediately whisked away from the school, put into the armored limo that always follows the president, and we're flying down the highway. Many of the senior members of my team who were in the West Wing were hustled into what's called the PIOC, an underground bunker in the White House. Condi Rice was there. Of course, Vice President Cheney was there. So I immediately tried to make contact with them, and did. Although, I must tell you, the communication system was not very effective. I told them I was, stay put. They'll be hearing from me, and I'll be heading home. And Condi calls me from the secure bunker and says a 3rd plane has hit the Pentagon.
Also, there is a fire and an explosion at the Pentagon this morning, the very seat of our nation's defense.
As the president said, we're going back to Washington. As we took off from that first stop, the Pentagon had just been hit. And when the president took off, we found out there was no way we were going back to Washington.
You're such a veteran journalist, and you have covered so much of this nation's history in Washington. Were you entirely in journalism mode? Were the other members of the White House entirely in professional mode? Or was there a moment of release of that emotion as we were all experiencing it on 9/11?
Actually, we were in such a bubble. We had so little information from the ground. We could tell by watching on the TV screens that are embedded in the bulkhead wall of Air Force One in each cabin. We could see the towers fall. We could see, but we really didn't have any information. The idea that at that hour of the morning on a weekday,